Hey folks, I got a terrain review video from Wargames Forge. We got the Gothic Ruined Building Design Campaign 2 that's on Kickstarter now. Act soon because that Kickstarter is wrapping up at the end of this week, but it should be available afterwards. But hey, hop on that if you want to get this fantastic terrain. So I was privileged to get an advanced copy of a couple of the STLs for this Kickstarter, and I printed them off and wanted to give you guys a look at them and kind of show them in adjacent to some Adeptus Titanicus models so you can kind of see size and scale and the quality of the print. So let's just hop in and take a look at what I did. So I opened the files in Cura, which is a 3D printing and slicing application. So it's a free application. You just go find that. So popped it in, opened the file, do a little rotation, see what it looks like. That's in on the print bed, and then slapped it on the printer and started printing it. So this is how it started. Getting that foundation built and seeing the printer work and kind of build up the layers on this. It was actually fantastic print. I actually had to change the filament halfway through a little bit after this clip here, but as you can see, it's just printing away, chugging away, no problems, no errors, really smooth, really clean STL. Really happy with it, and you can see the detail there. And it took a little over a day to print it at the quality level that I had, and you can see that it, print two prints on that bed. And here's what the finished products look like. So I'm going to do some little rotations here, show you what it looks like, get some close-ups. So you will see a little few filament strands, but those are easily cleaned with a hobby knife. But as you can see, the detail here is quite impressive. I really like the print. It's really smooth. The ruins aspect of it looks really cool. Clearly, it's in a war zone, and like pieces of debris have fallen. Nice sizable piece, and there's different sizes of pieces. So let's get some close-up detail there again. Again, those little wisps are pretty normal standard on a 3D print. You see that all the time on 3D prints, but the quality here is quite amazing. I love it. So really nice piece there. And so here's the bigger piece that I got. I got the two different pieces. So, you can see one size is smaller, one size is quite a bit bigger. And so, that's a good size piece for an Adeptus Titanicus table. And so you can see that this one's quite a bit of ruins. Um, half that building is gone and got a half of a face that's completely intact. So I don't know, maybe a volcano cannon hit that or something. But you can see the rubble on the top. You can see like the sheared off faces within the building. I love how there is doors and alcoves within the building, and you can kind of see the rubble that fell off as part of the destruction process. And again, those little wisps there, you just clean that up with a hobby knife, no problem. So really good detail, nice solid base on there, nothing to worry about in terms of that thing tipping over or not looking like it's got support around it, but clearly a nice looking building. And so, got you some close-ups here, so hopefully that gives you an idea of what this piece looks like. There are obviously other pieces within this that, you get a little bit more close-up there and kind of see what it looks like. Really happy with the print. Love it. It looks good. And I'm going to take a moment here to show you what it looks like against some Adeptus Titanicus pieces. So this is the buildings again printed, in size comparison to each other. Looking good. Nothing too crazy there. But let's take a look at this next to a Warhound. So obviously a Warhound is smaller than this guy. And looking good. That's going to be completely blocking terrain for a Warhound. Now here's the Warhound next to that same building. I believe this is building number 58, so clearly going to be line of sight blocking for him. Here's that same building kind of with scale with a Warhound and a Reaver. You can see that it's going to be pretty big, and that's still going to be line of sight blocking for both of these guys. So that's going to be a nice piece for your tabletop. Now here's it with a Nemesis Warbringer. So still, good size, another view here. It's pretty good size line of sight blocking, and Warbringer can hide completely behind that thing. So the smaller building is going to be a little bit smaller, obviously playing peekaboo through the big hole in that one. Now let's move on to what the bigger piece looks like with both a Warlord and a Nemesis Warbringer. So still pretty darn big. You can see the Warlord's going to start peeking over the top of that thing. So it's still going to be good line of sight blocking. Looks fantastic against those two Titans. So putting them behind that piece of terrain, clearly good line of sight blocking. You're going to be able to fit maybe even two Titans a little bit to give you partial cover within the game. So it looks fantastic. So here's all those Titans arrayed kind of from smallest to biggest in the smallest piece of terrain that I had to the largest one. So you can see the range there and how it's going to stack up against all the different Titans in the game. So just again, looks fantastic. I highly recommend this terrain. And even putting them together, you can get some covering terrain across multiple Titans if you wanted to. So pretty good stuff here. And last but not least, we couldn't get away with not showing how it stacks up against a War Master Titan. So this is my Legio Prasagius War Master that I finished recently. Clearly bigger than both of them, but we expect that to be true. Looks good next to it. So War Master Titan, you're not going to get away with hiding that puppy completely behind one of these guys, but that's okay. So you can see a Warlord and a War Master kind of stacked next to the bigger piece. Here's that War Master behind the bigger piece of terrain here. So can't completely hide him behind that, but we weren't necessarily expecting that. I do believe there's other larger pieces in the set as well. I have to go back and check. So anyways, that's my review of the terrain. I hope you found this useful and enjoyable. So I can't say enough good things about this terrain. I think it was designed well. The STL files print cleanly. I didn't have any failed prints. They printed the first time out, no problems whatsoever. They look fantastic. They're great size. They're going to hide your Titans well on the tabletop. So I endorse this terrain completely. I would really recommend if you're into printing or if you want to get those STLs to print at a future date, go hop on that Kickstarter and get you some of this terrain. Thank you so much for watching and happy wargaming.